Good evening, everybody, and welcome to McCurdy Field. Thank you all for being here today. Most of you might not have had a choice, but we're glad to have you here to celebrate this exciting moment. You might have noticed some of the recent changes to the facility this year. This project represents months of hard work, collaboration, and dedication from many people, including our own staff in the Parks and Recreation Department and our partner Hummer Turfgrass Systems, who help us complete this renovation. As Park Superintendent, I'm incredibly proud of what we're unveiling today. This space was intended for our young athletes in mind, a place to gather, to play, and to build memories for years to come. Youth sports are vital to the community, and investments like this help ensure Frederick continues to be a welcoming place for participants to enjoy and build their skills. Many of you may not know that McCurdy Field is over 100 years old. Opened in May 1924, it was initially home to Frederick's first minor league baseball team, the Hustlers. Its namesake, Dr. Ira J. McCurdy, was the lead fundraiser for the original construction, and even back then noted the importance this field would be to the physical development for city youth. Since that time, McCurdy Field has been host to familiar teams such as the New York Yankees, Washington Redskins, and of course the first home of our beloved Orioles farm team, the Frederick Keys. But for nearly 80 years, McCurdy has been the primary home of many important youth sports associations, including, of course, FSK Post 11 Legion Baseball. Much of that time, Tommy Long was head groundskeeper and still refuses to leave. Now, Travis Phelps and his crew take pride in keeping the field in pristine condition for game days. Let's give them a round of applause for how good the field looks. This past fall, we undertook a complete renovation of the playing surface that included a full regrade, new irrigation system, and all new sod turf that significantly improved the safety and playing quality of the field. Later this summer, we plan to replace the entire field lighting with LED upgrades. We want to continue to work on spectator improvements with better access and restored seating in the future. None of these enhancements would be possible without the support of the mayor and city council. Through these continued reinvestments in our park system, we want McCurdy Field to endure for another 100 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Scott, thank you so much. I understand you're somewhat of a McCurdy Field historian, so we appreciate everything that you've done to get us to this place today and to give us some of that background. It's a pleasure to be here to celebrate another chapter in the story of McCurdy Field that we've already heard a little bit about, and I want to take a moment to acknowledge the presence of our City Council President, Cesar Diaz, Councilmember Peter Brem, and Councilmember Derek Shackelford. Thank you for being here today. When you spend time reading about the history of this place and hearing about it as Scott provided, one thing becomes really clear. McCurdy Field has never really been just a baseball field. Since its opening in 1924, it's been a gathering place for the Frederick community. Over the last century, professional athletes have played here, championship teams have competed here, and thousands of young people have learned the game here. I remember when I was in high school, this stadium hosting Babe Ruth World Series games for a couple of different age brackets. So we've not just been a center of sports in Frederick, at times we've been a center of sports across the country. The Philadelphia A's trained here during World War II. The Washington Redskins played football games here. And of course, as we heard, the Frederick Keys inaugural season was in this ballpark. Those are remarkable pieces of history, and they are part of what makes this place special. But what struck me most isn't those famous names. It's the realization that for more than 100 years, generation after generation has continued to find value here. Think about how much Frederick has changed since McCurdy Field was built. Entire neighborhoods have grown. New roads have been constructed. Businesses have come and gone. The population has multiplied several times over. Yet through it all, I feel like I'm channeling my inner James Earl Jones. This place has endured. Families continue to bring their children here. Coaches continued volunteering their time here. Neighbors continued gathering. Young athletes continue taking the field. And that kind of longevity doesn't happen by accident. It requires a community to act with intention. It happens because the community has decided over and over through more than 100 years now that this place matters. And that is really what we are celebrating today. We're celebrating a community asset that has stood the test of time and remains just as important to the life of the city as it was a century ago. We're celebrating the fact that Frederick continues to invest in places that bring people together. And we're recognizing that our responsibility is not only to enjoy the things that we inherit, but to take care of them so that future generations can enjoy them too. The people who built McCurdy Field in 1924 could never have imagined the Frederick of 2026. They couldn't have imagined a generation of athletes who would play here and the thousands of memories that would be created on this field. What they did understand was that communities need places where people can gather and compete and connect and belong. And 100 years later, that lesson still holds true. Today's ribbon cutting ensures that future generations of young people have an opportunity to make memories here, develop friendships, learn teamwork, and perhaps one day bring their own children back to this same field. That's the real legacy of McCurdy Field. Not any single game or season or team, but the role it has played in the lives of the people of Frederick for 102 years. For everyone who has helped make this project possible, thank you for ensuring that legacy continues. Play ball!
It's truly a privilege to be able to be here for this ribbon cutting. Like the mayor mentioned, McCurdy Field has a long history in the city of Frederick. And Frederick is one of the things that makes Frederick special is the history. We have a historic district, Civil War battlefields, museums, a lot of connections to Frederick's past. And this is another place where we have that connection. But through projects like this renovation of the field, we ensure that this is also a connection to Frederick's future. So this is a place where not only can we celebrate and acknowledge and have a connection to history, but we provide a connection to the future, to future histories of families. Like the mayor mentioned, knowing when World Series games were played here, Little League Series games. Connection for my family. My son played football one season here, and I remember standing, I think over there, the first time he got like clobbered by a teammate doing a drill. And like holding my breath for a second, and then he continued on. Or sitting in the stands with his brother during practice, just going over his vocabulary list because he was right after school. And also the history of the players who will be here, who will get to play here, and you never know, we could be getting ready to this game that follows the ceremony. We could be witnessing a future Hall of Famer or future leaders of society, of the city. So it's a bridge not only from the past, that history that the mayor mentioned, but also to the future. and history that we're still creating today. So let's get this ribbon cut and let's play some ball.
Boys, if you want to join us up here. And mayor, council members, parks team. We'll want you in the center here. More on this side.
It's a whole lot better than my lawn.